Crazy, crazy game at Tottenham Stadium. Yes, people, we're back to another Premier League match reaction. It is Tottenham 1, Chelsea 4, and both Arsenal and Tottenham's unbeaten run has come to an emphatic end this Premier League weekend. Wow, look, I do want to say, first of all, crazy, crazy game. Genuinely, my favorite game of the season so far. And I'm not just saying that because Tottenham lost, because genuinely, that's not why. Of course, I wanted Chelsea to win this game, make no mistake about it. But I'm not saying that purely because Tottenham lost. I'm saying what a crazy game, because that was genuinely the most entertaining football match I've watched for a long, long time. That was a superb watch from start to finish. And I have to commend both teams for that. I have to commend Tottenham because despite going down to 9 men, for over half an hour of the match still to play, they still put in a right shift into this football match. And to be fair, if it goes another way, they could have still found a way to get a point from this game. I mean, Dyer scores and he gets ruled off. Son's got a chance that he could potentially score at 2-1. But in the end, Chelsea emphatically win 4-1. They take advantage of the Tottenham 9 men, plus Tottenham, for some reason, playing a kamikaze high line, where they will basically have their line at the halfway line. It's like no one told the players that if you're in your own half, you're still onside. It was crazy how high their line was. They were playing suicidal football at times, it seemed, Tottenham. I couldn't believe it. I'm scratching my eyes thinking, are these not being serious? Their line is at the halfway line. Chelsea are automatically onside if they're on their own half. But, I mean, look, it's just one of those games. And this is why I like watching Tottenham play. Despite being an Arsenal fan, I love watching Tottenham matches because they've got entertainment now. With Ange Postecoglou, it's always free-flowing, attacking football, and you don't know what you're going to get. And today, look, I do want to say one thing, right? Chelsea, I think they've won the game, and congratulations to them for winning it. But this was very, very nearly a bad game for Chelsea, man. Bad game. Because, guys, look, it got to a point where Tottenham were down to 10 men after about half an hour. They were down to 9 men after about 55 minutes. So there's a good 35 to 30 minutes left, right, of this fixture, plus 40 if you include the added time. And Chelsea didn't look like breaking them down. Like, genuinely, Chelsea looked like they were panicking. It got to about the 72nd, 73rd minute. I'm sitting there thinking, could Chelsea actually not score here? You're sitting there thinking, with 35, 40 minutes, surely they're going to score, surely. But they just didn't look like quite breaking them down. But lo and behold, once they got a goal to make it 2-1, the game was basically over. I mean, I don't know why Chelsea retreated after that. I mean, I don't know if anyone else thinks the same thing, but after scoring to make it 2-1, Chelsea retreated into their shell. I couldn't believe it. You make it 2-1 and you start sitting back. Tottenham start having chances from set pieces. I mean, when you're playing against 9 men, think about it. Where is their best opportunity going to come from? It's going to come from a dead ball. It's going to come from a set-piece situation. So why Chelsea were giving away set pieces at 2-1 up and at 1-1 with playing against 9 men was beyond me. I don't get it. It's just stupidity at times. Either way, Tottenham didn't manage to capitalize, and Son had a beautiful chance at the end of the game where, let's be honest, if it was on his right peg, he probably could have struck it home. But either way, Chelsea then go down the other end. Nico Jackson scores his hat-trick. I'll be real with you guys, yeah? Big up Jackson for scoring a hat-trick. But let's be completely honest, man. I would have scored that hat-trick. Let's be real. Everyone watching this stream would have scored the hat-trick he scored. He scored 3 tap-ins, bro. And he missed about 2 chances as well. Nicholas Jackson scored 3 tap-ins and missed 2 blatant one-on-ones. The one at the end where Mudryk squared it to him, he's blazed it over the bar. So big up Jackson for scoring a hat-trick. But, bro, that's the most Fugazi hat-trick ever. He stat-padded today, man. Big up him. That was a fat stat pad. Him and Eddie Nketiah going bar for bar. Stat padding against 9-men Tottenham and Sheffield United. Crazy. But yeah, guys, crazy game, man. Genuinely, my favorite game of the season so far, without an absolute doubt. I loved it from start to finish. Such an enjoyable watch. I said it. Obviously, at the start, I did want Tottenham to lose, being an Arsenal fan. But one thing I will say is, right, as an Arsenal fan, I'm going to say some good words towards Tottenham Hotspur. Fair play. Because Tottenham Hotspur at 10 men could have folded. At 9 men, probably should have folded. Let's be real about it. But they stuck in there and they dug in. I think it helped that they played Chelsea. Chelsea don't seem to ever have confidence. I don't get it. Like, they went on a run where they beat Fulham and beat Burnley. And you're thinking, oh, they've turned the corner here. They got play against Arsenal, played really, really well. Got a 2-2 draw, played really well against Arsenal. Then they lose 2-0 to Brentford and look void of confidence again. They come to Tottenham today. First 10 minutes, they get ripped apart. Spurs were well on top of them. Then they find a bit of a footing into the game. They score to make it 1-1. Romero gets sent off. Let's talk about the sending off, by the way. Romero, what is he thinking? What is that brother thinking, man? Just before he swung out at Levi Colwill. And look, I don't think it's a red card because it wasn't dangerous, but it's a bit reckless just swinging out with the ball's nowhere there. I mean, Romero's like Granit Xhaka on steroids when it comes to his head loss. These players, they go bar for bar, man. What's it with these South Americans? Bruno Guimaraes on Saturday as well. South Americans have got no composure in their vocabulary. No personality trait of a South American includes composure. They all lose their heads. Him as well. And then what's he doing? He clears the ball, then he goes and just leaves his studs on Enzo Fernandez. It's a red card and a penalty. I don't think you can debate it. It's Argentina on Argentina crime. Like, what is he thinking right there, man? That just be a little bit more composed in that situation if you're Christian Romero. You don't have to dive in there. I don't get it. Like, your team's 1-0 up. You're playing well. Chelsea coming on to you, but you're withstanding the pressure. You're at home in front of your home crowd. Why are you diving in, bro? It's just petulant. His head gone. His head's rattled. Destiny Udogie similarly. Now, I'll be real with you guys right now. I agree with Gary Neville on this one. I think Destiny Udogie should have got sent off for that first one, because although he didn't break Sterling's leg, because Sterling actually jumped out of the way, if Sterling just stood there and firmed it, he A, could have got his leg snapped in half, and B, would have got Destiny Udogie sent off for an absolute fact. But I agree with Gary Neville. Someone should not have to have their leg snapped in half for it to be a red card. That was reckless from Udogie. Yes, he got the ball, but that was two studs off the ground showing, and it could have planted on Sterling, and Sterling quite literally could have snapped his leg in half. Quite literally, man. So I think Udogie should have gone for the first one. Lo and behold, he went for the second one. But the funniest thing is this, man. Chelsea, where Udogie got his second yellow card from was a fast break. Chelsea had 3-on-2. Sterling charging from, thinking, okay, they have to score. It's 3-on-2. And Sterling plays a criminal pass. He chases his own pass, and Udogie takes him out. So what turned out to be a hospital pass from Sterling turned out to be Udogie making a horrible challenge and sending Tottenham down to 9 men with 35 minutes to go. Do you get what I mean? It's crazy, crazy scenes. But after that, let's be real, guys, yeah? You can survive with 10 men. You can. Liverpool have proven that enough times this season. You can survive with 10 men. But playing with 9 men, very, very difficult to survive. Very difficult. Let's be real, guys. Because it's just a whole different scenario. With 10 men, you can account for one less player. Because make no mistake about it, guys, it's actually something that not a lot of people account for as well. Not only is it difficult to play with 10 men against 11 men, it's actually quite difficult to play against 10 men as well, especially a team like Tottenham, because when you play against 10 men, that team is now set up to defend, and it galvanizes the team a little bit. Everyone just digs in a bit more. Everyone gives their 10% more. They all just basically just trench in and just say, come on then, come attack us. Siege mentality. But once you go down to 9 men, it's kind of impossible. It's mission impossible, Tom Cruise settings for Tottenham Hotspur, because you're chasing shadows then. They've got 2 extra players. Every time you think you're making a challenge, there's another player that can back you up. At 9 men, it literally was mission impossible for 35 minutes. But that's why I'll give Tottenham an awful lot of credit, because they actually dug in there a lot. Because Tottenham could have folded. Now, you see the scoreline was 4-1, but 4-1's fake stats. Let's be real about it. The game was 2-1. Chelsea just scored 2 more at the end of the game because Tottenham, for some reason, played the highest line of known to man. They were defending at the halfway line. It's like no one told the Tottenham players that you're onside in your own half. I couldn't believe it. Another thing I couldn't believe is, first of all, unlucky to Tottenham for Maddison and Mickey van der Ven coming off injured. Not unlucky for Romero, because that brother's just head loss. So Romero and van der Ven came off injured, and Chicken Royale, Emerson Royale, was playing at centre-back. I couldn't believe it, bro. Their centre-back partnership was Eric Dyer and Emerson Royale. I'm thinking, oh my days, man. It's back to the old Tottenham. It's exactly what I was saying Tottenham need to avoid. Because I've been bigging up Tottenham this season. I still big up Tottenham. I think they've done absolutely fantastic this season. Absolutely fantastic. Because what Ange Postecoglou has initiated self-belief and confidence in this squad. And they've gone aura. And I draw parallels between this Tottenham team and the Arsenal team from last year. Very similar. But the similarities is in the team. The starting 11 is very good. Tottenham's starting 11 is very solid. But I do worry about Tottenham once they get injuries. Now Van der Ven's going to be out with a hamstring injury. Maddison potentially could be out. Romero's out for 3 games. Udogie's out for a game now. The wheels could start to fall off the bus, if you ask me, because Tottenham with injuries, it's a completely different team. Completely different team, man. Let's be real about it. But one thing I will say is this, right? I haven't watched Ange Postecoglou's reaction. I'll watch it after I finish this stream. I hope and pray that he's very positive in his match reaction after this game. Because yes, he lost 4-1 at home. And anyone that did not watch this game but looks at the stats and looks at the scoreboard after and goes 4-1 would think, oh, Tottenham got ripped apart at home. The Tottenham Fugazi's over. I said they were going to lose eventually. There we go. Tottenham's title run over after 10 games. But if you actually watch that game, you would see that this is a different Tottenham team. Because with 9 men for 35, 40 minutes is not easy, guys. It's not easy, genuinely. 99% of teams would fold in that situation. I'm telling you, man, 99% of teams would fold. Yes, it looks like 4-1, but until the 95th minute, that game was 2-1. And if Eric Dyer is onside by this much, or Son shoots and hits the bottom corner, which is more than capable of doing so, by the way, this game might finish 2-2 and Tottenham snatch a draw from the death. So it's the fine margins in football, right? It's the little things that make a big difference, the butterfly effect. So Son misses down one end, 30 seconds later, Nico Jackson gets a tap in. Do you get what I mean? So I do have to say that Tottenham should count themselves quite unlucky. Not unlucky in the sake that they didn't deserve to get the men sent off, because they did. They were both horrible challenges. They definitely deserve to walk. But unlucky in the fact that it's just one of those things. It's just what it is. Same thing happened to Liverpool about a month ago at your stadium. It happens sometimes. Football's a crazy, crazy game. And this epitomizes everything we love about football. I was glued to that game today. Glued to that game. I could not take my eyes off it. I was watching like this. I wanted someone to pin my eyes open. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was thinking, oh my days, this is a crazy, crazy game. Like, I'm seeing challenges fighting here, players running in here, fights starting. It was a beautiful game to watch, man. Beautiful, beautiful game. And it culminated in Chelsea winning 4-1. But here's the thing, right? Where do both teams move from this? That's what I want to ask. Because when I look at teams losing matches, I always say that losses are inevitable in football. No team is going to go unbeaten this season. And lo and behold, I was right, because the unbeaten runs over. Happy Invincibles Day for all Arsenal fans worldwide. But no team's going to go unbeaten. That's not a worry. My question is, how do you respond to defeats? That's the real question mark I have. Because the good teams bounce back from defeats. How often do Man City lose back-to-back games? Yes, it happened this season when they lost to Wolves and lost to Arsenal. But how often do Man City really lose back-to-back games? If anything, Man City take out all their anger on the next opponent. They turn a loss into a guaranteed win next week. I said when it comes to Tottenham, right, when I've reviewed all the Tottenham games that I've watched this season, I've said after every single game, Tottenham look good. They look very good, and I like what Ange Postecoglou's doing, and the confidence is there. But I'm going to wait for Tottenham to lose the game to really judge where I believe they're at. Once Tottenham lose the game, I want to see how they react, because the loss is coming. Tottenham will not go unbeaten this season, and lo and behold, the loss has come today on the 6th of November. I want to see how Tottenham react. The next game is the early kickoff away at Wolves. Wolves are going to smell blood after Tottenham got plenty of men sent off. But also, Wolves have got a point to prove themselves, because they've just lost to Sheffield United, which I thought would have been impossible, because Sheffield United look like the easiest 3 points going right now. So you're going to Molineux next weekend in the early kickoff. How do you respond? If Tottenham go there and capitulate, it's same old Tottenham Hotspur. But if Tottenham go to Molineux and actually put in a really good performance, like we've been used to already this season, then I believe you'll start to see people go, okay, actually, Tottenham are not to be taken granted for. They're actually a good football team. Because I wholeheartedly believe that Tottenham team is good, man. Really good. I've seen enough from them already to think that's a good team. Now, I never said they were going to win the league. I said for them finishing top 4 is still a fantastic achievement, especially given where they finished last season, plus losing Harry Kane, one of the most prolific strikers in world football. Even a top 4 finish is a superb achievement for Tottenham Hotspur. And I believe that even them fighting around for top 4 is a brilliant finish. So next week against Wolves, they need to go back to their old selves. They need to go back to, when I say the old selves, I mean themselves from the past few weeks, where they really dominate that football match. Because they can beat Wolves. Wolves are beatable, but they got to be really smart about it. But on the flip side, let's talk about Chelsea now. Because Chelsea I've looked at a lot this season. And Chelsea at the start of the season, I labelled them the wild cards. I labelled them the ace in the pack, the joker in the pack. Because I didn't know what to expect. It's a $1 billion project that so far has gone pear-shaped. It's gone like the Titanic. A lot of money sunk into it, but it's sinking down faster than the Titanic, basically. So I look at Chelsea and I saw their first few games and think, nah, this ain't it for me. Injuries, fine, but injuries should not be an excuse. You spent over £1 billion. You're looking at their squad right now, and they're lacking a striker and they're lacking a goalkeeper. I know Jackson scored a hat-trick today, but that does not change my opinion on him. In my opinion, that was a Fugazi hat-trick, bro. Him and Eddie Nketiah going bar for bar. I would have scored that hat-trick. He's got a hat-trick of 3 tap-ins. Let's be real about it right now. His hat-trick was literally 3 tap-ins, and he missed a glorious chance at the death when Mudryk set him up. So I still think Chelsea need a striker. Now, in January, do they go for Ramsdale and Ivan Toney? They know they've got the war chest available. The money's there for them. But the thing about Chelsea is, right, every time I watch them, I think, oh, they look good. Chelsea I've seen sometimes where they played really good football, but couldn't quite put the ball in the back of the net. Their XG is solid. They just can't quite win the game in the boxes. What did I tell you guys, right? In the midfield battle, Chelsea do really well. And it's to be expected. The midfield's got Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. It's a brilliant double pivot. But I do think the game's won and lost in the boxes. Everyone knows this, right? And I feel like going forward, they're toothless up front. Whether it's Mudryk, whether it's Nico Jackson, they just can't quite put the ball in the back of the net. And at the back, I think Robert Sanchez, he's too leaky. I mean, even Dyer almost scored against him. And I'm not being funny, right? That ball's like right up here. If he sticks his hands up, he clears it away from danger. So I do think, to be honest, that Chelsea's still struggling in the boxes. But can this win be a catalyst? Because make no mistake about it, if Chelsea did not win today, it would have been embarrassing. Embarrassing. You cannot not beat a team that have had 9 men for about 35, 40 minutes. Like, come on, let's be real right now. You have to beat that team. But I've seen Chelsea too many times this season. I feel like they're hitting momentum, then it just goes pear-shaped. Like, they can't sustain momentum. Like I said, they beat Luton Town. I watched that game, Monday Night Football. And I sat there, was it Friday Night Football? It was one of the two. It was the evening game. And I sat there and I said, okay, you've beaten Luton Town 3-0. Jackson got on the score sheet. Sterling had a blinder. Let's kick on now. You've got Bournemouth next week, Nottingham Forest. And lo and behold, they lost to Forest and drew to Bournemouth. So it all just went pear-shaped. Then they went on a bit of a bad form. They beat Fulham out of nowhere. They managed to follow up with a win against Burnley. And you're sitting there thinking, okay, Chelsea have turned the corner. They go to play Arsenal. Yes, they draw 2-2 by putting a really solid performance and thoroughly deserved to win that game. You're thinking, okay, 7 points out of 9. Chelsea are on the up. Then they go to play Brentford at home and get torn apart on the counter-attack. And you're thinking back to the old days again. Then they go to play Tottenham here today. And I'll be honest, guys, I thought Tottenham would wipe the floor of Chelsea. I really did. I could not see anything other than a Tottenham victory because Chelsea look a bit feeble. Yes, I saw them play really well against Arsenal, but away at Tottenham, a Tottenham team that's flying with their full-strength team, I couldn't see Chelsea getting anything from this game. And after about 10 minutes, I was proven right. Tottenham were tearing them apart. They scored to make it 1-0. Son was marginally offside to make it 2-0. And you're sitting there thinking, yeah, Tottenham are going to tear Chelsea apart. But then they caught life. They caught a little bit of confidence. Yes, there was a little bit Tottenham actually, I think, caving in a little bit. A bit of inexperience got to their heads. You saw Destiny Udogie make a flying challenge in, which actually galvanized the Chelsea squad. Equally, Romero went in with a rash challenge, which actually galvanized the Tottenham squad as well, galvanized the Chelsea squad as well. And they turned the corner. They got the penalty. They played against 10 men. And suddenly they got their confidence back. But then that game was drifting. They got to 72, 73 minutes. And I sat there thinking, right, they've been on 9 men for 20 minutes now, and Chelsea don't really look like scoring. Are they ever going to score? Please don't tell me Chelsea are not going to score against this Tottenham team. Surely they will. Surely you're playing against 9 men, for Christ's sake. You've got to find a way to put the ball in the back in there. And they did. And you saw when they scored that goal to make it 2-1, it was like 15 stone had been lifted off their shoulders. It's like, oh, finally, 2-1, we're good. Then they retreated. I couldn't believe it. But my question mark now is, what's it going to be for both teams their next game? That's my real question mark. Like I said, Tottenham play Wolves in their next match. I want to see who Chelsea's next game is. Chelsea game, their next match for Chelsea is Man City. There we go. So look, guys, Tottenham's next game is Wolves away. How do they respond? But equally, Chelsea's next game is Man City at home. How do they follow this on? Because they've got an emphatic 4-1 win against unbeaten, top of the table, well, was top of the table at the start of the week, Tottenham. Now can you follow on with a win against Man City? Man City are coming and they're going to smell blood because Chelsea still look a little bit fragile, in my opinion. They do. But you're welcoming them to Stamford Bridge. You've got confidence. Your strikers just bagged a hat-trick. You've got to go into that game and try and get a result against Man City. Are they capable? Of course. It's the Premier League. Anything can happen. If Wolves can beat Man City, best believe Chelsea can beat Man City as well. Do I believe they will? Probably not, because Man City right now have turned the corner. They were fantastic against United and brilliant as well on the weekend against Bournemouth. So it's going to be a very tricky game. But the truth is, anything can happen. So I'm looking at next weekend. I'll be reviewing both those matches live on this channel. So subscribe if you're on here. 286 people watching. I appreciate everyone that's tuned in. Let me know your thoughts on live chat. I'm going to get to the comments in just a second. But yeah, subscribe. I'll be streaming after both Chelsea and Tottenham games this weekend, as well as other big football matches in the coming weeks. You do not want to miss it. But yeah, the main thing is, right, if you are a Chelsea fan and Tottenham fan, wait for next week. I think both teams will be... Tottenham can't be happy, of course. As a Tottenham fan, you can't be happy. If there are any Tottenham fans live chat, let me know. I don't think you should be happy as a Tottenham fan. You've lost 4-1. But as a Tottenham fan, have some confidence because your team didn't fold today. I know you lost 4-1, but you didn't fold. And I'll be real about Tottenham right now, yeah? I'm an Arsenal fan. Tottenham are super fun to watch. And if you look at Tottenham, right, for the past few years under Mourinho, Conte, Espirito Santo, brothers, they are boring to watch, man. Boring to watch. It's like you're watching fossil football again. And you're sitting there thinking, why am I watching this team? If I didn't have an affinity towards Tottenham as a Tottenham fan, you'd be thinking, why are you watching this team? As an Arsenal fan, I don't even want to watch their games. Now, as a neutral fan, if I take my Arsenal hat off, I love watching Tottenham games. They're explosive. They're forward-thinking. There's a rhythm to their play. Everyone's tenacious. Like I said, they remind me very much of Arsenal last season. Arsenal last season and Tottenham this season, they're bar for bar. It's like the same team in terms of their aura, the way they play football. I love it to bits. So I think Tottenham really got to get back to that. Look at this game and think it's a freak game. It's a fugazi. It's a one-off. It's just one of those things that happen, man. You got to go back next week and try and respond. That's what I would be doing if I was Tottenham Hotspur. I wouldn't be sitting there thinking, oh, it's all over. We've lost 4-1. This season's over. Title charge is over. Back to mediocrity again. This is not the time for that. This is the time to have your smart caps on, assess the situation. Ange Postecoglou is a very smart man. He had gone, 50 games unbeaten at home throughout his time at Celtic and Tottenham. He's a very intelligent man. He will understand the situation. He will understand the context. He will understand the surrounding, the constraints that had gone on with this football match, and understand that, yes, we got beaten today 4-1, but we didn't get smashed to pieces. This wasn't a demolition derby. This was a smash and grab from Chelsea in the second half. Yes, there's some things we need to work on. For example, why you're playing a high line at the halfway line when you got Dyer and Emerson Royal as your centre-backs is beyond me. It's okay with Mickey van der Ven because Mickey van der Ven is one of the fastest players in terms of centre-backs in world football, so he can survive. But you've got Emerson Royal and Eric Dyer. I'm sorry, man. It's square pegs in round holes. It's square pegs in round holes, man. It's not going to work. It's like trying to drive a Lamborghini in the desert. That Lamborghini is a beautiful car, but it's not going to do well in the desert, my friend, bro. You need a Land Rover for that. Do you get what I mean? So I think it was a bit of square pegs in round holes there. But Ange Postecoglou's got a lot to learn from this, and he will. And if he reflects now, I think he's a very calm manager. He will look at it and go, "Yeah, I think I see positives. I saw a team that fought. I saw a team that was fighting." And the biggest thing is, guys, right? And this is very underrated because I saw a similar thing with Arsenal last season. The crowd was well behind that team from minute 1 to 90. And that's a massive, massive positive. Trust me, guys. When you have got a synergy between the crowd, the players, and the manager, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that Tottenham crowd from minute 1 to 90 was behind their team. Even when they conceded to make it 2-1, they were still singing. At 3-1, they were singing. At 4-1, they were singing. The Tottenham crowd buys into this team. So I think that's a very positive metric. But equally, for the Chelsea fans that were visiting today, big up to them, man. They were jubilant in the away end, rightfully so as well, because Chelsea, I call them Lottery FC, Powerball FC. You don't know what you're going to expect. Like I said, going into this game, I thought they were going to get smashed to pieces. I really did. I thought they'd beat Brentford on the weekend and lose today. Lo and behold, the opposite happened. They got torn apart on the counter-attack against Brentford, and they won today. So anything can happen. But let's get into your comments. And if you are new around here, please do subscribe. I'm already to 5,000 subscribers. I do live streams after pretty much every single Premier League match that is televised. I'll be streaming after both Chelsea and Tottenham matches at the end of next week. RG12 title contenders, my ass. I appreciate your stream, my friend. I'll be real. That's a bit harsh, man. A bit harsh. Look, I don't think Tottenham are title contenders, but I think it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth today. I don't think it's anything more than a little bit of a step down. I don't think they've been shot to the ground. It's just a little bit of you've tripped up on a hurdle. I still don't think Tottenham are title contenders, make no mistake about it. But that's not their aim. Tottenham's aim was not title contenders at the start of the season. Like, if you looked at that aim for Tottenham, I would sit there. If I was Ange Postecoglou at the start of the season, my metric for success would be, number one, initiate a style of play that's forward-thinking and aligns with the Tottenham DNA and the fans can buy into. Check. Number two, start getting consistent performances and a consistent team selection. Check. Number three, let's get results. They're ahead of schedule. Let's be real about it. No one in their right mind was predicting Tottenham to finish top 4 this season. No one. Let's be real. You're lying if you thought so. Not even the Thai equivalent of Tottenham fans would have predicted them to finish top 4. There's no way. I think I put them to finish 7th or 6th. And even I thought I was being nice to them. But they've done really well. And look, I've talked about Harry Kane leaving potentially has helped Tottenham. They've become Tottenham again rather than Harry Kane FC. And Son's come into his own as well. And look, there's still plenty of time to thrive in this league. And they're not playing in Carabao Cup. They're not playing in Europe. So they can turn this around. But it all starts next weekend. It's all about the get back now. Take this game out of your head if you're Tottenham. Forget it. Scratch it off the list. Learn your lessons and move on. Put it in the past. Next is Wolves away on Saturday. How do we respond? If we go there and get a victory if you're Tottenham, then it's all in the past. But if you go there and lose, suddenly it becomes, momentum falling off. The wheels are falling off. Spurs look beatable again. They've got their injuries out. They look like they've got a soft underbelly. You got Villa in a few weeks' time. Man City as well. You get what I mean? Like Tottenham, the fixtures are coming thick and fast. So they need to bounce back quickly. Jeff, appreciate your stream, my friend, as well. Spurs' pursuit of top 4 is done. Van der Ven can be out for a long time, and this game shows Chelsea isn't a good side. I agree with both those thought process. I think, look, the pursuit of top 4, I wouldn't say is done quite yet. I think it's still very early. Van der Ven looked like he pulled a hammy, so speedy recovery, but that's at least a month out. 3 weeks if you're speedy in your recovery. but I think he's at least a month out of Van der Ven. He did not look good. And I agree with you. Chelsea looked a little bit, what's the word? They looked a little bit fragile. They looked like they were void of confidence there. Chelsea at 9 men with Tottenham should have smelt blood. Let's be real. Even a half decent side here, a Sheffield United would come here and smell blood with 9 men. Let's be real right now. Like, I would love to be in a situation where I'm playing against 9 men. Because you're sitting there thinking, hang on a minute. Let's wait. You're looking at the clock. What? There's 40 minutes to go, and they've got 9 men. We should be wiping the floor with them. But Chelsea, I think Tottenham actually playing the high line helped them a little bit at the start, because Chelsea saw the high line and tried to play killer passes. And Vicario, by the way, stand up for Vicario, because that brother's an unbelievable goalkeeper, man. Really good. He kept Tottenham in that game for a couple of times in that match. But he was playing sweeper keeper. So I think Tottenham's high line was actually baiting Chelsea into playing the killer passes, but they didn't need to do that. Chelsea should have understood the situation they're in, understand the context around it. Yes, they've got 9 men, but you've got 40 minutes to go. Tire them out. Spread the ball around. Pass it around the back. Then when you see a killer pass, then play it. So I think Chelsea did win the game today, but it looked a little bit like they were struggling to break down Tottenham. It looked like it was a bit of a chess match still. And really, it should have been a case of inevitable that Chelsea were going to win. It should be them free-flowing. But they still looked a little bit off it, in my opinion, Chelsea, if I'm being completely honest about it. But look, they won the game, and that's the main thing, is how they move forward from that now that I've really got to question. Chelsea didn't even look that good. Either they look like the team that we were down to... either they look like the team that we were down to 10 men at times. Yeah, I agree with you at times. I agree. Chelsea didn't look that good. Another thing about Chelsea that really worried me is, bro, Tottenham had 9 men and Chelsea were getting involved with the scraps. I didn't get it. Like, why are you trying to get involved with all these scraps when the other team's got 10 men? When you've got 10 men, and especially 9 men, your best bet is not to score a goal. Your best bet is to even up the teams. So get one of them sent off. So you know at every single foul, Spurs are going to milk it. They're going to try and roll you up. They're going to try and get in your heads. Don't buy it. Levi Colwill almost bought into it. Malo Gusto almost bought into it. Reece James went in with an elbow, almost bought into it. Chelsea's biggest enemy were themselves at times. If they actually assessed it, they would have been cold-blooded and said, yeah, try and roll me up. I'm not going to get rolled up. We've got 11 men. You've got 9 men. The game's played on the football pitch. Because the only way Tottenham are going to get back into this game is if Chelsea got a man down. If Chelsea became 10 men and Tottenham had 9 men, yes, it could have been an even more even game. But 11 v 9, it was only going to go one way. Let's be real about it. You can't play Highland with Eric Dyer. Exactly my point. Spurs started well, but they'd lost control well before the Romero red card. And here's the thing, right? It's the same with Granit Xhaka at Arsenal. Players like Romero, when he's a centre-back, fantastic at times. World-class centre-back. But too often, Romero does bad things, man. Bad things. Like head rush. Loses his head. I've seen it too often, man. Too often. What's it with these South American players? They can't seem to keep their heads. Bruno Guimaraes, I've got Bruno Guimaraes' shirt on right now. Against Arsenal on Saturday, same thing. Elbows, forearms. He thinks he's in the UFC. He thinks he's in the NFL, stiff-arming players. I couldn't believe it. So these South American players, keep your head, man. Like Romero, what's he doing, bro? You cleared the ball. Why are you leaving your studs on him? I don't get it at times. Invincible, they said. Whoa, there you go. Big up Invincibles, man. Craziest game I've ever seen. Oh, same, Tommy. I couldn't wait for it. I couldn't keep my eyes off it. My eyes were stuck to that TV. I could not take my eyes off that football match. I was glued to the screen. It was unbelievable entertainment, man. If this was your first time watching a football match, you'll become a football fan watching this game. Because that was a superb game to watch, man. Beautiful. And I almost missed it as well. I came home at 2 minutes before kickoff. I entered my house. It's crazy. Dark Kid 66. Oh, okay. Appreciate your stream. I think that we're doing really well. Who here thinks Tottenham wasn't playing their best? I think first 10 minutes they were really good, but I think after that they started to fall off a little bit, to be honest. Started to fall off a little bit, Tottenham Hotspur. I think Chelsea grew into the game, but here's the thing about Tottenham. If Son makes it 2-0, the game's over. The game's over, I think, because Chelsea would have been knocked out the game. So Tottenham actually were their own enemies in this game, to be honest. So I think after 10 minutes, they were solid. Then Destiny Udogie went in for a crazy challenge. That rolled up Chelsea. Romero got sent off, and after that, the game flipped. The game really badly flipped in Chelsea's favour. So Tottenham were their own enemy today, to be honest. Their naivety and innocence caught them out. Because if it was a football game today, from minute 1 to 90, I think Tottenham win the game, to be honest. It's so mad. I agree, man. Did Udogie even touch Sterling on the first yellow? I don't think so. Is it really foul if there's no contact at all? Here's the debating point, Jeff. Because you do have a point. You have a really good point. But here's the thing, right? I agree with Gary Neville in this one. I don't always agree with Gary Neville. Saturday during the Arsenal game, I wholeheartedly disagreed with Gary Neville on his thoughts on VAR. But on this one, I agree with Gary Neville. Destiny Udogie, yes, he went for the ball, but that was reckless. Both studs were showing off the ground. If he plants with Sterling's leg, it could be a leg breaker. And I guarantee you, I'll put my life savings on it. He gets sent off for that one. I guarantee it. If he plants with Sterling. Now, Sterling, being himself, dived out the way. He jumped out the way of it. But if he sits there and firms it and just takes the foul, I'll be real with you guys right now. I think he gets sent off. But Sterling could have got his leg snapped in half. So I think a player shouldn't have to stand there and take the challenge to get the player sent off. I think if it's reckless and it's with intention, I think that's enough to warrant a red card. But here's the thing, Karma hit him anyway because he got sent off in the second half anyway. So it weren't too bad. But yeah, I think it's an orange card to be honest. I knew Chelsea were going to win. I didn't think so, to be fair. I think at 9 minutes, I thought, yeah, definitely. But I didn't think so at the start of the game, to be honest. Jackson scores a hat-trick, but it's still trash. Misses way too many chances. Tommy, agree 100%. I'll be real right now, guys. I would have scored that hat-trick. Let's be real. It was 3 tap-ins, and he missed 2 open goals. Let's be real about it right now, man. Like, he missed 2 open goals, or 2 1-on-1s, sorry, and scored a hat-trick of 3 1-on-1s. That is the most easiest hat-trick ever. I would have scored that hat-trick, guys. Genuinely, everyone watching would have scored that hat-trick. Bun Chelsea. Fossil football resumed. I agree, man. Udogie got lucky in the first half and should have taken him off. I agree. That's the thing about Ange Postecoglou, man. I think he has too much trust in his players. You should have seen when Udogie's got that yellow card, you have to take him off. You have to, because here's the thing, right? At 11 men, you can risk it, but when you're down to 10 men, you can't go down to 9. You can't. Like, it's gotta be. It's just not. You just can't happen. Once you're down to 10 men, the worst possible thing is getting another man sent off. You'd rather concede a goal than go down to 9 men. Let's be real about it. So he should have sat there and gone, you know what? Udogie has to come off. I think because he had no more players to bring off the bench. I don't know if Ben Davies, he trusted him enough. I think he just had to sit there and just firm it, to be honest. But yeah, I would have taken Udogie off as well, to be honest, because you can't have 9 men on the pitch. You can't. With 10 men, the game is still in the balance. 1-1, 10 men, anything could happen. But at 9 men, the game was over. C1, I appreciate John Stream. I think I'm doing really well. I'm a Chelsea fan. How am I supposed to react to this? I feel like I can't celebrate. I'll be real. At 4-1, you can celebrate. At 2-1, you probably couldn't, because I'll be real. Winning 2-1 is terrible against 9 men with 35 minutes to go. But at 4-1, you have right to celebrate. But I hear you, because this wasn't really a case of Chelsea winning. It was a case of Tottenham losing. I know that sounds like, well, what? Like, obviously, Tottenham lost and Chelsea won. But do you get what I mean? This wasn't Chelsea going out there and winning the game. It was Tottenham handing them the win on the plate. They literally sat there and basically just shot themselves in the foot. Tottenham quite literally shot themselves in the foot and gave Chelsea the impetus to win this game. Smash the likes. I agree. And if you are new around here, make sure you do subscribe. My road to 5,000 subscribers. I stream after most televised Premier League football matches, and I'll be streaming after both Tottenham and Chelsea games this weekend. Even though we won, but Tottenham were good. Yusuf, appreciate your stream. I think they're doing really well. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Chelsea won the game, but I do think Tottenham, they weren't good in the sense that I think first 10 minutes they were good, but I think they were good in the sense they didn't capitulate. That's the main thing, because at 9 men, they could have easily capitulated. And yes, the scoreline probably showed that they did fold towards the end, but I don't think they did Tottenham. I think Tottenham were really good. I think they managed to stay strong, stay resolute. And yes, they lost the game convincingly by the end of it, but it wasn't a walkover. It wasn't Chelsea taking them to the cleaners. Tottenham, for the most part, played a really strong football match. So you have to give them a heap of credit for that one. Heap of credit. And look, if Eric Dyer stays this far onside, he equalises. If that shot's on his right foot rather than his left foot, he makes it 2-2. 30 seconds later, Jackson makes it 3-1, then 4-1 2 minutes after that. It's one of those things, man. Anything can happen. It's the win, but a hollow one. Struggle to beat 9 men there. Exactly. I agree. No, C1, you can't celebrate. Your team still sucks. Harsh but true, man. Chelsea are mid-table. Look, Chelsea, I'm waiting for it to click. Like, there's too much potential for it not to click. Do you get what I mean? It just looks like it's going to work. There's $1 billion invested. There's good footballers there. Like, you look, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, it's a £200 million midfield. It's a £250 million double pivot. How can it not succeed? You've got Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez in there. You've got Thiago Silva, established centre-back. You've got Reece James, if he stays fit, one of the best right-backs in world football, I've heard. Mudryk, £100 million player. Sterling's been around the block. Like, how can this not succeed? I don't get it. Like, you're just waiting for it to click. You've got Pochettino, a world-class manager. So I am waiting for this Chelsea team to really click into place, but it is taking a while. And should be positive about those who finished the match, but not the two of the red cards. I agree. Every Tottenham player, bar the two that got sent off, should leave that pitch with their head held high. I thought Pedro Porro was immense. I thought Bissouma was immense. Sarr. I thought Son never stopped running down the channels. They still pressed. I thought Dyer came on and was really solid in there. I thought, what's the guy's name? Emerson Royale came on and actually had a decent game. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. 200 views, congrats. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in. Subscribe if you are new around here. I'm over to 5,000. I stream after basically every single televised Premier League football match. You do not want to miss it. I don't think we will see an invincible season in the Prem for a long time, decades. And you know what, Tommy? I'm just fine with that as an Arsenal fan. I am just fine with that. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think any team will go unbeaten. I called it a few weeks ago. A team would have to be out of all cup competitions to achieve it. Yeah. And here's the thing, right? There's too many good teams in the Premier League nowadays. Too many good teams. Back in the day, like I'm only 21 years old. So I say back in the day like I'm an old head. But even back in the day, like when I first started watching football, like 2006, 2007, there'd be Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and that'd be good. Even Liverpool had fallen off by then. Do you get what I mean? So those were the good teams. Everyone else was just a bit average. Nowadays in the Premier League, yes, you've got Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United, Chelsea, etc., the big six. But you've also got Brighton, Villa, Newcastle, Brentford. Those teams can get a result nowadays. Wolves can get a result on their day. Do you get what I mean? So you not only have you got the big teams now, you've got the teams like Brighton, Newcastle that can pull a win out of nowhere. So I think it's damn near impossible to get an invincible season nowadays. Damn near impossible. Kaduna Simon, appreciate John Schumacher. They're doing really well. Small club Spurs. Well, they folded today, man. But look, let's see how they respond. That's the main thing. Chelsea were very, very poor today. Young Femi, appreciate John Schumacher. They're doing really well. It should have not have been that close to 9 men. I agree. At 9 men, it should have been a whitewash. It should have been relentless Chelsea attacks. They should have won 4-1. But they should have won 4-1 far more convincingly. It should have been 4-1 after 80 minutes, not 2-1 with 5 minutes to go in added time. You get what I mean? So, yeah, I think Chelsea, they've won the game, but I don't think they can consider it a resounding victory. I think they can consider it a lot to learn from and a wake-up call still that you did not break this team down. That's a fact. Appreciate you saying that, Frank. I think Vicario deserves a special mention. I agree, man. I thought he had a superb game in there, man. Superb game in there, Vicario. I thought it was fantastic. Ian, appreciate your stream, my friend. I don't appreciate the comment, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. I love to hear yours in the comments if you're still here, but something tells me you're probably not. But yeah, appreciate your stream regardless, my friend. Chelsea need to learn to close games properly. Oh my God. Yeah, fully, man. Look, I'll be real right now. If my team was playing against 9 men with half an hour to go and we did not win this game convincingly, I would be, let's be real, cursing. I would be spitting blood that we did not win this game. Let's be real about it right now. I think, to be fair, against 9 men, there is literally no excuse. I don't care if you're playing Man City, Tottenham, prime Real Madrid, prime Barcelona. Against 9 men, you have to win. 9 men with half an hour extra to go. If it's 5 minutes to go, fair. But with over 35 minutes to go, plus 10 minutes of added time, that's basically a whole half of football against 9 men. You have to win, bro. You have to win. And fair play, they managed to do so. Ali Alvin, appreciate you joining the stream. I ended up doing really well. Cancun. Don't know what that means, but I appreciate you streaming, my friend. I totally agree. If Chelsea did not win, would have been embarrassing. Osawe, appreciate you streaming. I think they're doing really well. I agree. Chelsea did well, but the goal margin wasn't enough because of the 2-man difference. Ag Bonifo, appreciate you joining stream, my friend, and I agree with you right there. I think 4-1 probably is expected. When it went down to 9 men, if you told me to guess the result, I would have said 4-1 Chelsea. I actually would have, like genuinely, but not in the way it finished 4-1. I thought they would have scored like 5 minutes later, then 10 minutes, and by like the 85th minute, it would have been 4-1 game over. Not, it gets to the 85th minute, and it's 2-1 with Tottenham. We've been this close to making it 2-2. I would not have thought that in a million years. So I think Chelsea still got to look at themselves and think, yeah, we've got a lot to learn here. Vicario is a keeper still. I agree, man. I think he's a good keeper, man. Good keeper. You saw Chelsea look a little fragile. I think they're extremely fragile. Yeah, I was being a bit nice. I agree with you. I think there's a lot of fragility with this Chelsea team, to be honest, guys. I'm a Postecoglou's tactics in the second half was shocking. I can't lie. I agree with you. He definitely should have dropped that line, man. Drop that line because look, I get it. You want to play a high line, condense the football match, make it so it's very tight, and the midfield battle gets involved. But here's the thing, right? Chelsea actually have a good midfield. If there's one thing Chelsea are good at, it's their midfield. I think they struggle defensively and struggle going forward, but their midfield's quite solid. So I think there's no shame in abandoning what got you to where you are right now and going, you know what? Yes, we've played so well this season with our high line, attacking other teams, playing on the front foot. But we've got 9 men right now. Let's do the smart thing. Let's sit back a little bit and try and defend deep and defend in numbers. I don't think any single person on this planet would have begrudged Tottenham for that. Not a single person. They would sit there and go, you know what, fair enough. I would do the same thing. If my team had 9 men, I would defend my box. Just like Liverpool did when they went to Tottenham a month or so ago. Defend your box, man, and try and walk out there. I think that it worked at times. They were baiting Chelsea to play that killer pass, and Vicario was being a brilliant sweeper keeper, so it was working. But you knew that it was a ticking time bomb. Like, only time was going to tell until Tottenham basically just their waters burst. And it's exactly what happens. What a goal. Hassan, appreciate John Schumacher doing really well. What goal are you referring to? You're referring to, I don't know which one, man, but I think, look, I do want to say one thing, actually. You bring up what a goal. I want to say Caicedo, I feel sorry for him, man, because that was a superb goal. Superb goal. Yes, they end up scoring a penalty, but yeah, I thought that was a superb goal, man. The high was really bad idea from Ange. He got it wrong, but this isn't a usual situation. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you in that sense. But here's the thing, right? This is the point I made before. Teams, they actually play 10v11 in training. They actually account for this. In certain moments, teams plan to play 10v11. They do it on the training grounds. But no team plans 9v11. You don't do that. Like, you don't waste your time playing 9v11. So this is uncharted territory. Because make no mistake about it, guys. When it's 10v11, it's hard for the team that's got 10 men. But it can be hard for the team with 11 men as well. Because suddenly you're playing up against a team that's in a siege mentality. They defend a bit deeper. They play on the counter-attack. And you can survive with one extra man. You can survive, sorry, one less man. But with 2 less men, yeah, that's very hard to survive with. Frank Nicholas, appreciate you, George, my friend. I'm so happy my blood is blue, die hard. Well, big up you, man. I'm glad you lot got the result. Hopefully you beat Man City next week. I'll be watching that game live on this channel, so stay tuned for it. If you are a Chelsea fan, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. You do not want to miss it. Vicario was a beast in goals today. I agree. Also, should we talk about the number of goals disallowed? What a crazy game, man. There was 22 minutes of added time combined across both halves. That is crazy. But yeah, so many disallowed goals. And I think VAR is a little bit careful nowadays because I think the Eric Dyer one was miles offside. I don't know why they took so long. It was closer actually when they actually did the lines, but it looked miles off for me, to be honest with you guys. So yeah, to be honest, they're taking a long time to do VAR decisions nowadays. I think they're being very, very careful. Fans, Farte, appreciate you, George. My friend, they're doing really well. Chelsea, that's what you say. Big up Chelsea for getting the win. Emerson is stealing a living. If Ange can get good backing from the Spurs board, Emerson and Dyer will never play at Spurs again. I agree, man. I agree, bro. I'm a Chelsea fan, but I don't happy for today's game. I hear you. I hear you for an absolute fact. I don't know why Ange decided to go with a Highland against a team that can't finish their dinner with quick players. That right there is suicidal. I agree with you, man. I don't know why he was playing a high line with that team, bro. I don't know what he was thinking, bro. Stinker. Now we'll see how tough they really are with injuries to key players. I agree. I agree. This is where you question Tottenham, because I said the same thing. Their starting 11 is good, but Maddison might be out. Van der Ven's out. Romero's out. Udogie's out. Now we see what Tottenham are made of. How do you survive with a few injuries? That's the question mark, because many are expecting you to fall off now. Spurs are in trouble for next match. No Mickey, no Doggy. Yeah, no Maddison, no Romero. Exactly what I said. I'm living in Turkey. Merhaba abicim. Nasılsın? Can you tell me, what do you think about Turkish football? Bro, I'm Turkish, man. I'm Turkish, bro. Look, I'll be real. I don't watch Super League anymore. I think Super League is a bit nax. I'll be real. I watch Turkish national team. Of course I do. I'm Turkish. But I'll be real. I don't watch Super League anymore that much, to be honest with you guys. I just think the quality is not at it. But yeah, Merhaba abicim. Hope you're doing well. Fenerbahce vs Galatasaray are one of my favorite derbies. Yeah, bro. Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, and Beşiktaş, always good games between the three of them. I'm a Galatasaray fan, so I support Jim Bomb, but I like watching those games. Do you know Beşiktaş? Of course I know Beşiktaş, brother, man. I'm Turkish. But yeah, I support Galatasaray, not Beşiktaş. But yeah, big up Beşiktaş, man. To be fair, though, I'll be real. I say I'm a Galatasaray fan. I don't watch Super League. So technically, I support all the Turkish teams because I watch every Turkish team in Europe. And how it works in Turkey is different to England. So, for example, I'm an Arsenal fan, right? If I'm watching Man City in Europe, I want them to lose. If I'm watching Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, United in Europe, I want them to lose. I'm also a Galatasaray fan. So when I watch any Turkish team in Europe, I want them to win. No matter if it's Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Trabzonspor, Beşiktaş, Istanbul Başakşehir, I don't mind who it is. I want them to win. That's the difference in mentality. Because let me know if you guys agree with this. I actually agree with this one. In England, right, you support your team. It's Arsenal. If I support Arsenal, I support Arsenal. Whether it's Premier League, Champions League, that's it. Tottenham, I want them to lose in the Premier League, Europa League, Champions League. No matter what they're in, I want them to lose. In Turkey, when you watch their league, you support your team. But in Europe, the team represents Turkey, doesn't represent the team. Do you get what I mean? So Galatasaray in Super League, in the league, is Galatasaray. But Galatasaray in the Champions League is Turkey. That's how the mentality. So you'll find Fenerbahce fans and Beşiktaş fans supporting Galatasaray in the Champions League because they're representing Turkey. And I think that's a very beautiful thing. Like when I watch Fenerbahce and Beşiktaş in the Europa Conference League, I want them to win, even though I'm a Galatasaray fan. When I watch them in Super League, I want them to lose. I think it's a very beautiful thing, actually, the mentality there with Turkish football. It's similar in other countries, I'm sure, but it's not the same in England. Make no mistake about it. I'm an Arsenal fan. I want Man City to lose every European match they've got. Exactly, Rory. Cuthbert, appreciate you joining the stream. I think they're doing really well. Better to play badly and win. Spurs played into Poch's trap. I agree with you. And look, Pochettino came back to his old hunting ground, old stomping ground, and got a victory, man. So, yeah, big up him for that one. Big up him. Better to play badly and win. And I agree with that point as well. Points on the board is all that matters. It's all that matters. But I do think with Chelsea, right, we've seen them get results and not follow it on. It's all about how you carry on the momentum. It's okay winning a game, but they're beating Fulham. They're beating Burnley. It's how you follow it on going forward now. Can you then progress that on with more wins? Because what happens with Chelsea is they beat Fulham, they beat Burnley, then lo and behold, they go in their game against Brentford. They play well against Arsenal, but still draw 2-2. Play Brentford and lose 2-0. They win today 4-1. How do you play next week against Man City? That's the real question mark I've got. Do you get what I mean? So I do think there's a lot of question marks still over Chelsea's head. I think Prime Chelsea will come back. I think he will. Look, there's too much money invested. There's too much involved in that football club for Chelsea not to come back. It feels like it's a matter of time for me. I'm just waiting for it all to click. Do you think Jackson's better than Haaland? No. Let's be real about it, man. That guy's crap. I still think Chelsea needs to sign a striker like Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney or Victor Osimhen. Go for one of those two strikers. You've got the money to do so. No, exactly. Same with me. I absolutely despise Bissouma since that laughing rubbish he did to us at Brighton. But I'd be lying if I said I hate his partnership with Pape Sarr. Yes, Sarr as well. What a player Sarr's been, man. Big up Pape Sarr, because when I watched him last season, I thought he was a little bit lost. I'll be real with you guys. I thought he was a little bit lost in that midfield. Now, obviously, he was a young boy coming to the Premier League, so that's to be expected. But I did sit there and think, yeah, this brother, it's not quite made from the Premier League. Let's be real about it. But one thing I will say is he has completely turned it around this season. Is it because he's got faith from the manager? Is it because, I don't know, is it because he's got a lot of faith from outside areas? I don't quite know, but he has really turned it around, Pape Sarr. So I have to give him a heap of credit for that, because I didn't see it coming. I thought he was just going to be a failed wonder kid. Like, I thought Tottenham would sign him, hope the best, but not going to quite achieve it. But he's really turned it around, man. So I got to give Pape Sarr an awful lot of credit, man. Pat on the back for him. What Champions League matches are you streaming after this week? Also, obviously, anybody else? Yes. Dortmund, Newcastle. Okay, my streaming schedule tomorrow is Dortmund versus Newcastle. Wednesday, Arsenal versus Sevilla. And then the weekend matches, I'll show you right now, is going to be, let's look at it, Premier League match. There's no Friday night game, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. So it will be, so Tuesday, Dortmund versus Newcastle. I'll be streaming live after on this channel. Wednesday, Arsenal versus Sevilla. I'll be streaming after that one as well. Then Saturday, Wolves versus Tottenham. Arsenal versus Burnley. What else? And then Chelsea versus Man City. Those are the three games I'll be streaming next week, this coming weekend. So Dortmund, Newcastle, Arsenal, Sevilla, Wolves, Tottenham, Arsenal, Burnley, and Chelsea, Man City. Those are the 5 games I'm streaming over the next few days. Subscribe, turn on bell notification button so you do not miss all my streams on this channel. You do not want to miss it. ObenE.E, appreciate you joining the stream. I think they're doing really well. It's more about Ange teaching the boys a lesson. That way they'll grow together. He's not expecting them to win the league after 11 games. 100% agree with you. Brilliant point. I agree with you 100%. Tottenham can't get ahead of themselves. They have not entered this season as title challengers, let alone title favourites. It's not been the case. The fact they've gone unbeaten for 10 games is a victory in itself. Ange used to sit there and goes, yes, we've lost today, but it's all about the bigger picture. It's all about the bigger picture. We fought well today. We'll grow as a team. We'll grow as a group. We'll learn from this. We've gone into an unexpected situation. But look, it's uncharted territory. Every loss is a lesson learned, right? You're not going to play with 9 men for another long time. I hope not anyway, if you're a Tottenham Hotspur fan. So they've got to really sit there and understand that, yeah, we lost today, but there's a lot to learn from. And the spirit has not left the club. The fans were on board throughout the 90 minutes with the team. So there's a lot of positives there today. A lot of positives with that Tottenham team. Make no mistake about it. I think there's a lot of positives there. Bayern God's side this week. Yes, now we'll be watching it. If it's a 5:45 game, I will be watching it. I'm not too sure. I watched it last week. They were so unlucky to lose that game. God's side, man. They got picked on the counter-attack. But yeah, I was watching, what's it called? I was watching that game last week. Hope that game's on at 5:45, please. Please. No, it's on at 8 p.m. Stinker. Stinker. No, it is on at 5:45. Perfect. No, it's not. I lied. It's not. That's a bit of a stinker, man. It's on at 8 o'clock. So I'll be missing. I won't be able to watch that game because I'm watching the Arsenal game. But yeah, it's one of those things. That somewhat cheered me up after Saturday, but I'm still livid because we could have been still unbeaten-ish. Yeah, I agree, man. Newcastle game still does annoy me a little bit because of the margins in it, but we just got to move on, man. We just got to move on. It does make sense because you only have just the one team from Turkey qualifying for Champions League every season. It's obviously not the case in England or Spain. Yeah, I hear you. It's like that, what's the word? That underdog mentality, right? Underdog mentality. I remember last season, Real Madrid and Man United fans were united together because they were playing Liverpool and Barcelona respectively. Yeah, I remember that as well, man. I remember that. VAR got everything right today, which is completely baffling considering the Liverpool shaft and this recent Arsenal robbery. Yeah, bro, this VAR thing, man. This VAR thing is crazy, bro. Like, these can never get anything right, man. Never, ever get anything right, bro. It's crazy, man. Crazy how they never get anything right. Like, it's a lottery, the VAR room. They're literally sitting there and they're just like, they're closing their eyes, just pressing a button and just hoping it's the right button sometimes. Even like, I'll be real, guys. I'm not one to tell referees how to referee. But even in the VAR room, am I the only one that thinks they take the wrong camera angle and offsides? Like, I'm sitting there thinking, take a different angle, bro. And I'm sitting there thinking, are they even going to look at certain decisions? Like, when they gave the goals offside, a part of me genuinely thought they were not going to check for a penalty. I genuinely sat there and said, you know what? I bet they're going to forget to check for a penalty. So I could just see that happening. But thankfully they didn't, man. So yeah, big up them for that. Thank you for answering my questions. Also, where did you learn Turkish? Brother, I'm Turkish, man. I learned it from home. I'm not fluent though. I'm not fluent. I was born and live in England, so that explains it. But both parents are Turkish. But yeah, hopefully Turkey get back to the promised land, and we're gonna go to Euros, guys. I can't wait for it. It's only a few months away, 9 months away. Euro 2024 in Germany. Can't wait for the streams then. My country's made it. Beautiful, beautiful scenes. And also, should I do a stream actually during the international break? I might do some international break streams. It's not usually my thing, but I know Wales play Turkey. Maybe. Who knows? Turkey. But anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. But yeah, guys, I want to hear some predictions regarding the weekend matches, predictions regarding the outlook of this season. Who thinks Man City going to win the league? No, I'm joking. They probably will. Let's be real about it. Anyone else? But other stuff as well. I want to hear your thoughts on Tottenham and Chelsea. It might be a stupid question, right? But do Tottenham get top four? A, that's a hard question to answer right now. B, who finishes higher, Chelsea or Tottenham? Because your gut says Tottenham should finish above Chelsea, right? Because yeah, it's Tottenham, man. They've started better right now. Chelsea looking disarray. This is their first loss all season. But don't underestimate the fact that Tottenham could have a lot of key injuries out. And a Tottenham team without Van der Ven, Romero, and Maddison is a far, far worse Tottenham team than a Tottenham team with them in there. Trust me, that's a team that fall off the cliff, bro. So I do think, to be honest with you guys, that there'll be a quick test of this Tottenham metal because their next game is Wolves away. Not an easy fixture. Wolves have already beaten Man City. Very unlucky to lose against Man United. Equally unlucky to lose against Liverpool. It's a tough team to play against. Then you've got Aston Villa. You know Unai Emery does not take any prisoners. Then you've got Man City. So Tottenham's next 3 games, they could all 3 be losses or 1 point out of 9. Then you sit there and go, at the start of the season still, 1 point out of 9 is not good enough. Tottenham could really start to sink down this table. So they need to fight back. Now, whether they get it, I'm not too sure. They're capable, of course they are. But I'm still yet to see whether they'll be able to make the comeback that we expect from them. That's still what I've got a question. But look, it's still early days. I think Ange Postecoglou will still review the squad and think, yeah, we still got a lot we can come back from here. There's still a lot to take as a positives and a lot to look forward with. So yeah, I think there's still a lot to take on the chin for Tottenham Hotspur, both positively and negatively, man. But yeah, they're still a work in progress. My top 4, I'm not going to change it right now. I think it is going to be Arsenal, Man City, Man United, and Liverpool. That's my top 4. I said at the start of the season, I'm going to say it again now. That's going to be my top 4 for this season. I can't see it being, what's it called? I can see maybe Tottenham sneaking in there. Maybe if they bounce back, I can see a Newcastle and Aston Villa push, but I think they'll be too short-lived. I just see Man United at some point hit the gas. They beat Fulham obviously on the weekend in a last-minute victory. Just Man United throughout my lifetime, I've never ever finished lower than 6th. Never in my lifetime. They just always seem to find a way to fluke their way into a good table finish. Man United. They're just like that. All that aura about them. So I'd be lying if I said I could not see Man United finish top 4. I think they will finish top 4. I think they'll finish 4th though. I think Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City are going to be the 3 title challengers. I think Arsenal, Man City will go further than Liverpool because Liverpool still lack a defensive midfield in my eyes. But I think it will still be a really good title race this season. I really do hope so because I don't want to see Man City run away with it, man. That's the worst possible thing. Everyone knows this. Unless you're a Man City fan, no one wants to see Man City just run away with it, bro. You want to see a really interesting title race. So at least I do personally. And especially as an Arsenal fan, I want to see my team really go for it. But things like VAR decisions, etc., obviously it puts a sour taste in your mouth. But overall, I think I'm expecting a really good Premier League season. Really good Premier League season regardless. There's been some really interesting matches this year. And it's the best league in the world, right? It's why I watch the Premier League over any other league. You will not catch me watching Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga when there's a Premier League match on. I will always watch the Premier League over those games because it's just my favourite league to watch in the world. Like Tottenham v Chelsea. A game that you're sitting there thinking, okay, it's not Man City, it's not Arsenal, it's not Liverpool, but it's still a fantastic game to watch, man. My favourite game of the season so far. Let me know if you agree. It was all drama. All drama this game, man. From start to finish, fantastic, fantastic game to watch. And I commend them 100% the players on the pitch for a superb, superb performance. But yes, guys, I'm going to start to round off this stream now. I do appreciate everyone that's tuned in. If you're just tuning in now, make sure you do subscribe. I stream after every single, most televised Premier League football matches and after all the big matches for an absolute fact. Scroll right back to the start of the stream as well so you can hear all about my thoughts. All about my thoughts at the start of the stream. So you can hear all about my thoughts regarding the football match in what was a superb game. We've had a battle of the bridge, now battle of the lane. Yeah, well, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I thought it was meant to be called the Google Stadium at one point. I think they bottled that one as well. Yeah, but yeah, what a fantastic game to watch, man. Two sides were going, let's be honest, gung ho. Tottenham, fair play to them. Even at 9 men, they were going gung ho at times. I couldn't believe it. Kamikaze football approach. But yeah, it was an entertaining watch, nevertheless. And even because Chelsea are still very fragile, they still made it entertaining against 9 men. And let's be real. Once it went to 9 men, it should have been one-way traffic. But it was still entertaining. I appreciate everyone that's tuned into the stream today. Subscribe if you're new on here. Drop a like down below. And I hope to catch you all in my next stream.